Aussie bloke doing his bit for the firefighters. Coasters are doing everything they can to help support firefighters on the front line. A Burnie man has called on local businesses and individuals to donate non-perishable items to support emergency services personnel battling more than 70 blazes across the state. He said he was just doing what any Aussie bloke would do. He said in between his work schedule he had been collecting ute loads of bottled water, snacks and lollies. I thought to myself, how can I help these people? I put a post on Facebook and it went viral, so I made it happen. He said local grocery stores had donated slabs of water and snacks. He said everything donated would be dropped off at Tas Fire Services Northwest Regional Headquarters in Burnie. Study hard. Become a genius. Oh, you already are one. Growing up, going to college. Burnie Contel Communications co-owner Darren Turley and Craig Brooks are also doing their bit to support the firefighters. Mr. Brooks said one of his employees had taken time off to work as a volunteer firefighter. I thought, why not do what we can to support the fireys? We know how hard they are working and we want to help, he said. Mr. Turley said he was challenging local businesses to get involved and donate their products and services. In bold writing, the Contel Communications van will be parked at the business on Wilson Street between 9am and 1pm today. Now, obviously, there's two stories in one there. I don't want a big note myself at all. This is back in 2016 when pretty much the entire state was on fire. Geez, I'm going back there, aren't I? Yeah, that's me. The first half of the story is about me. No, I don't want a big note myself. So I didn't say my name in it, you see. Instead of my name, I said he. And what's the difference between the two stories? Not once did you hear the name Dave's Panel Beating and Fiberglass, the business name. That's me. Not once did I want that story to be about me. I didn't say he was just doing what any bloke would do. I actually said should do, because that wouldn't even be me to say it would do. They fucked with my story. They tried to get a certain kind of story out of me, and they didn't get it. I wouldn't let them. I said, don't you dare name my business in this. I'm not doing this to promote my business. I'm doing it for those guys. That's why I did it. Right? Why? Now this is why I have so much respect for firefighters. And pretty much zero respect for police. Firefighters actually do put their life on the line. Like, armed with what? A hose. Not a sidearm. They don't hide behind the badge. They don't need to display a badge. They wear their badge on the inside and they display it with their courage. Their real courage. Go and face down a real fire. So we're going to do this without stuffing it up all up again. Excuse my screen, but my father was in the middle of that. Yeah, my father and I don't get along. He's a drunk and a very violent man. I don't like drunks, and I don't like violent people. one of the most capably violent people around. Is about the only friend that I go and visit. Is the only friend that I go and visit. Capably violent. Now, I was... Just after that went to print, within days, Councillor Ken Dorsey approached me, and he was one of my customers when I had that business. I used to do a bit. I used to fix his jet ski all the time because his stoner son used to keep running it over rocks. He told me that I had to stop. I couldn't accept any more donations. I actually had a storage room at my workshop, and I had to take donations back to people, and I was upset because they actually spent money. People spent money. People were going out of their way to do what should be done, not would do. See, I didn't give the Advocate the story they wanted because so I was like, I don't understand why you want to write a story about this other than to, if you're not going to advocate that we have lost our way as a community, then I don't understand why you're writing this story. I'm not here to gloat or big note. I don't even want you to mention my business. I'm doing this because I want to do it. Because everyone should want to do something. Our state was burning down. Everyone just expects nowadays. They expect that someone's going to come to the rescue. And what thanks do they get for coming to our rescue? Why the hell should they? What do we do to earn it, to deserve it? What do we do for ourselves? How do we help ourselves? We don't. You can't even say thank you. You don't even have manners anymore. Now, after Ken Dorsey put a stop to it, because apparently I was overwhelming them with too much stuff. I wasn't overwhelming them with anything. This is why this is humbling to me. All I was the logistics. I come up with an idea, I put it on Facebook. I had Facebook then because you had to have a personal page to have a business page. And I put it up, and a few people I was connected to shared it. Woke up next morning, I had over 3,000 hits of people wanting to donate something. Oh, what have I done? Ha! I was humbled. It blew me out of the water. Blew me out of the water. Some of the people that were donating, I was like, you sure you want to donate this? Because they looked like they had fucking nothing themselves. It was the lowest of the socio-economic demographic of the communities, like the poorest people that were going out of their way to donate something. Some people were trying to find out where I were, and then if you come to here, like, I couldn't go collect or whatever at the time, and it was too far to go. Someone would come from Latrobe with 2 shopping bags of stuff to Bernie. And they were, oh, you got a business? Yeah. Oh, I didn't say anything about you having a business. No. Because it's not what it's about. It's about helping the fiery guys out. I was also a night field manager at Woolworths at the time. I was fitting that into an 80-hour week schedule. So next time someone tells you they don't have time, like tells me I don't have time, fuck off. Geez, I was young there. Mouthful of dentures. I don't even have dentures anymore. Now, after that happened, Ken Dorsey put a stop to it because apparently they just didn't have the room to store it anymore and all this. I was at work, radio, next thing you know, there's like strings of commercials of local businesses advertising that they're accepting donations for the firefighters. Now all the businesses that are like, the council bros, people who work for council, members of council, etc., so on and so forth, from Wynyard to Ulverston, Devonport, proudly accepting donations to support the firefighters, bravely saving our state. The disingenuousness of it all. I'm like, I called another meeting with Ken. I said, what's the go here, mate? Seriously, I don't want to big name myself. That's why my business wasn't named in that article. You told me that there's no room left. I'm a little bit fucking pissed off about this. Because you somehow, I made you look bad instead of you making yourself look good. So you couldn't do it on your own. You had to hose me down and then jump on my bandwagon. You had to push me off of my idea and jump on my bandwagon. You stole me carriage. Oh, no. I did that for the full term of the fires, just about, and everyone else jumped on the bandwagon in the last week promoting their businesses. And didn't lift a finger in the process. This isn't me trying to run anyone down. This isn't me trying to big note myself. What this is, why can't we be more like that? The volunteers. Why can't we be more like the Port Sorell scenario? What do I call the Port Sorell scenario? When Jeff Smith's house burnt down, a man who had a local business, earth moving, excavation, so forth, and his house burnt down, brand new house, still moving in, up to the wazoo, owing the bank money, and something wasn't signed on the insurance papers. Lost everything except his business. He still had the means to borrow money, but not what he needed. Like, basically his family was homeless, living in one of his excavation business sheds. It was one of Dad's customers. He'd helped us out. He'd helped everyone out. If he was going past your property with an empty truck and you needed dirt moved and he needed somewhere that needed landfill, bam, he just made things happen, and quite often for nothing, favour for a favour. Community, church, real church. So the town got together and they had fundraisers. The local firefighting stations got together. We had fundraisers. They had it's a knockout anything goes days where money was donated, raffles, all that sort of stuff. We helped him out with enough money so that he could put a deposit together to rebuild. Yeah, put him up to the wazoo owing the bank, but he was able to start again. And he was humbled by that. Even though he'd helped everybody else out, he was humbled by that. So what did he do? Building materials left over. Excuse me. And what was salvaged from the house that burnt, he built a big open shed with one wall of it all open, sliding door glass and roller doors. Like second-hand sort of stuff. Like, of course in that industry you're going to know builders, you're going to know people, and they put their heads together. It was on a bit of property, and he put together an events venue, small for the town, the locals, and every grand final and Bathurst, he put on a big shindig for the local people and their families of the town that helped him and his family out. Big spit roast and barbecue. alcohol, like a few barrels of beer, that sort of thing. And it wasn't expected, it wasn't asked for, it wasn't done out of giving for the sake of receiving. It's just how things worked. That was the story that I wanted written. Why isn't this normal anymore? Why am I so special? Why am I the only one that come up with that idea? And everybody thought there was something unique and special about it. Why? Why isn't it normal anymore? Because we're not taught it. Most people don't even know the names of their next door neighbours anymore. That's why it's not normal anymore. Because of those things. Where do I get my ethics from? My World War II veteran grandparents. That man there is 5 foot nothing. Who watched 40 ships worth of men drown in burning oil on top of water, trying to outswim 40 ships. Battle of the Atlantic. And he wasn't even this is hard for me. He wasn't even in the Navy. He was in the Navy, but he wasn't in the Navy. He was hidden in the Navy. That man had a brain like you would not believe. A mind. That lady there? So hang on. I would hate to think how many men died in her arms as a nurse in World War II. And you want to talk to me about right and wrong? About law? You want to talk to me about that? About morals? That 5 foot nothing man stood up to my 6 foot ogre of a drunken father and kept me out of a bad, dangerous, toxic environment until my dad could get his shit together. Which he never really did. My dad didn't make his way through merit, he made it through membership. My dad was a volunteer firefighter in that fire because it was membership, not through merit. That was Asbestos Rangers, the picture I showed you. Way back in 1985, I think, 86. Admittedly, he saved a few lives. They were waiting for an airlift out of there because the fire was coming through and they were surrounded. And they realised, we don't think the helicopter's going to, radio come through, the helicopter can't come in. Dad said, like, get in the truck. But get in the fucking truck. And the truck driver was one of those super OH&S people. He said, get the fuck out of that seat or I'll knock you out of it. Dad raced Speedway. That's me standing in the cockpit, in the engine bay as a kid. I'm like 15, 16 there. I raced that car. That was my dad standing next to me. He got him in the fire truck and he drove through that fire like he was racing that car, and he saved all their lives. So I'll give him that. He's got grit. He taught me a work ethic and he taught me not to fucking ever back down. And that man and that woman there taught me empathy, compassion, morals. So don't ever talk to me about morals and courage and empathy. Don't you fucking dare. I didn't expect this to go here. Don't talk to me about morals, ethics and courage and so forth. When Stephen Edwards knocked me shit off here a while back, and they never got me tools back, he was never charged for it, over $4,000 worth of tools gone, you know. Why is it that when that was stolen, while we was homeless, you know, factory 308 HJ 1 tonner, worth a fucking mint, be worth a mint now. That was stolen in 2018. How is it that the police officer that happened to end up with that case land in his lap was a police officer that restores factory 308, well, factory 1 tonners, Holden 1 tonners, those. And he told me on the phone, he had a yard full of wrecks and he was restoring some. My 1 tonner was never recovered. Apparently it was at the Banditos clubhouse. If you go to the video that I've done about the truth about my assault, Miller trashed his own car. That's the era in which we ended up homeless. Now, how is it the person who apparently knocked his shit off, who I was been told later since, is the person was a bandito at the same clubhouse where the police officer told me that 1 tonner was at. Now, he told me it was there, but he couldn't go and get it because they were being watched, investigated, and they didn't want to ruin the investigation, so they couldn't go in and get my 1 tonner. Does that sound like a crock of shit to you? Because it does to me. Now, so don't talk to me about morals, ethics and courage. Compassion. Don't talk to me about right and wrong. That man missed his ship the night before the Battle of Atlantic. The Battle of Atlantic ensued over an ocean ambush. The Merchant Navy carrying supplies, 43 vessels left dock. 3 made it through. 40 of them sunk by German U-boats. Grandad missed his ship, caught the next one, and he's got the one he was supposed to be on, the one he was stationed to, got sunk, and he watched them all trying to outswim burning oil. They were so well commended, they had a royal pension. That corgi at the bottom there is one of the Queen's corgis. A genuine royal Pembrokeshire corgi. "5'0", recruited out of a orphanage, 6 months out of an orphanage, where he was raised from an infant because his parents died in a Russian gulag. Where do you think I got my mind from? My pattern brain. The puzzles, learning to play chess at a young age. That man. While most kids were having Mr. Men books read to them, I had Karl Marx. Twain, Enid Blyton, Orwell, Huxley. I was going to sleep with chapters of Huxley being read to me. Orwell, right. It was... Why do you think my daughter's studying English literature level 2 advanced and she's going to become a teacher? But that man, I carry some of his pain because I've seen his survivor's guilt and it's not pretty. He held it in well. They made a go of it. They came here as 10 bob Poms. Made a go of it. Made a life. So don't talk to me about courage, perseverance, pain, morals, right and wrong. Don't. Just don't. Don't even go there. I'm quite aware of my shortcomings, sins and transgressions and trespasses. I'm quite aware. I'm also quite aware that you have no right to fucking point the finger at me. You have no right whatsoever. If you need to wear a badge on the outside and wave it round like it's your dick, you're a grub. By the way, he wasn't actual Navy, right? He was stationed, hidden within the Navy. Have you ever heard of naval intelligence? Human intelligence? Grey man? Grey man, naval intelligence. You realise how dangerous that job would be? To go into a foreign country, an enemy on the other side of enemy lines, to do reconnaissance. And to get back out with that information. With that information hidden within gobbledygook nursery, like gobbledygook riddles and rhymes. To everyone else it sounds crazy. to the one holding that information. It's a code. No different to the hand signal languages of here's a church, this is a steeple, look inside and there's the people. But yeah, no. That went somewhere different, didn't it? I wasn't intending to go here with it, but that's where it ended. Why? Because it's authentic. It's raw, it's honest. I'm not here to titillate and tantallate. I'm not here to look pretty for you. I'm not here to stroke your ego or give you fear porn. I'm here to try and wake you up. Like, really wake you up. Stop taking the blue and red pills. All that bullshit. It's a silly game. Stop it. Just stop it. Everything you're interacting with every day to do with what you think you need to live, it's all fucking bullshit. There is no law in this country. There is no law in this world, hardly. It's legislature. It's policy. It's skullduggery at best. We are ruled by scallywags with their shenanigans. You really want to show some courage? Walk away from it. Look at the Vive la France, eh? Look at the French. Someone said to me the other day, I thought it was a perler. Chell said to me, don't ever underestimate the courage of the French. They worked out you could eat snails and frogs' legs. Snails, yeah, escargot. The French are showing us how it's done. You realise that, don't you? Nobody holds the government to account like the French. It's gone into full lockdown because they won't, no, they've had enough. Okay, we can do that. We can do that. But it started off in a big balls up, didn't it? It started off with the tractors and the farmers, and this, that was kind of what they wanted. It's put them in the lockdown. But a lot of pain ensued to get to that. Now they're in a sticky situation, really, because now it's still in a very sticky situation for them. It could go either way, depending on how the people play it. If they come back out and it starts protests again, they're fucked. You see, now we could protest by our lawful rebellion. Lawful rebellion is not rebelling against, okay? Lawful rebellion is not rebelling against. It's not protests. It's not rallying. People misconstrue what lawful rebellion is. Lawful rebellion is bringing the country to a standstill. Non-violent strike action with absolute purpose, absolute conviction, and we create our own economy. We start going back to that with the ethics and morals and compassion and determination of those two people there. perhaps we need to say goodbye to some shiny objects. And let go of the toxic past. Some great memories in that, but there's some fucking horrible ones. Some people that need to be held to account on that. The right way. They're not going to do it through the courts. We're not going to do it any other way other than the court of public opinion. We stop carrying on about his truth, her truth, their truth. There's only one truth. It's God's honest truth. Tell the truth. The truth. The whole truth. Nothing but the truth. That sorts out the wheat from the chaff.